Denizio?
One of the hardest calls that I've had to make in the 18
Amazon, Meta, Netflix, why? Big tech is making massive layoffs. Dude,
years of running the company.
Company-wide announcements from tech CEOs have all had similarities recently.
This is a very difficult
after that, I'm done.
decision.
I'm done. We're doing some fun shit.
Amazon is preparing to lay off up to 10,000 workers. Meta is cutting 11,000. Netflix has made big cuts, so has Shopify, Snap, Twitter. Well, maybe that's a unique circumstance. Here are the macro and micro reasons why the tech industry is seeing massive layoffs right now.
Bubble.
Picture it, Silicon Valley 2019.
Yeah.
These three major tech companies' revenues were growing steadily as everything moved online. And their number of employees was also growing.
Let me take the guess. Everything is growing. It's full steam ahead. Everybody juice it up. Massive employees. Evaluations are out the wazoo. Everything's crazy. And then they realize things aren't profitable. And they're losing money. And they're never going to get there. And they're never going to get the projections of a rentability. So they make layoffs in order to get there somehow.
And of course, the pandemic hit. People began shopping from home, binge watching, and just generally being online more. Not only did the revenues of many of these tech companies skyrocket, but so did their headcount.
I think Amazon is the quintessential example here. If you're promising 2-day shipping, you have to deliver 2-day shipping. Amazon in response just had to hire many, many more people.
Not only did Amazon grow its delivery operation, but it also grew from its web services.
Companies and businesses that might not have been online before now had an online presence. You have to host that data somewhere. And so Amazon saw their cloud computing service do very well during the pandemic.
Revenue stayed high through 2021, and many tech CEOs thought the growth would continue at the same rate they had seen for the last 2 years.
We're going to continue to invest aggressively into the growth opportunities that we see.
So they continued the hiring spree, and not just a lot of employees, but some expensive employees.
This is you. COVID made your Twitch account. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? I was speaking before COVID even started.
Because this is also when the talent wars ramped up, where companies were vying for in-demand employees. Facebook launching the metaverse is a prime example.
From now on, we're going to be metaverse first, not Facebook first.
We saw about 100 or so people leave Microsoft for Meta, and some of these people who left the company said that they were being offered double their salary.
But by 2022, consumer habits had changed in a big way. People were no longer stuck inside. Netflix saw a drop in subscribers for the first time in over a decade. People began spending more of their money on services and less on goods. Revenues for many tech companies started to stall or even decline for the first time.
Some of these CEOs sort of overestimated where that new middle ground is.
Which is why they're explaining, while apologizing, that they grew too fast. Each tech company has also faced distinct problems. A major one, Apple's privacy change, which required apps to ask users if they wanted to be tracked. It affected a key component of many of these social media companies' digital ad-focused business models. Add in the threat from TikTok taking away viewership from other social media platforms.
When you have all these things happening at the same time, I think that's what really did it for these companies and put them in.
The bigger companies aren't outliers either. Layoffs have been happening across the industry throughout 2022, but have recently surged. But even though these are a lot of layoffs,
11,000.
Companies are not shrinking back to pre-pandemic levels. Meta's layoffs will bring the number of employees to about here. Amazon's to about here. Netflix brought the employee count here.
To be clear, a lot of these companies are still growing. It's just that the growth is slowing back to sort of pre-pandemic or early pandemic levels.
CEOs also say the timing has to do with the threat of an economic downturn.
Well, there certainly have been a lot of changes very quickly in the macroeconomic environment.
We're in a very rapidly changing economic environment.
You guys act like if they had to make layoffs, they wouldn't do them. Like, are you okay?
In some ways, these layoffs are a bit proactive. I mean, some of them have said we're doing this now so that we never have to do this
the privacy
these
thing.
Layoffs, while concentrated in the tech industry, are still a lot. Tens of thousands of people.
For a lot of people, this reversal and these layoffs are something that they've never seen before.
The tech industry had the exceptionally pronounced experience of growing during the pandemic. And now, while
this video did, said nothing. This video just literally presented things that I think people know, and then they didn't go above and beyond. Man, you're dumb as fuck. Alright.